I think I look really good. I'm not gonna lie. I love my hair being straight and nice and slick looking. Hello everybody, it's Mama Charlotte here. Welcome back to a brand new YouTube video on this YouTube channel. I want to first say thank you to everyone that's been subscribing. I'd like to thank people that have been supportive. The channel's almost about to hit 11K subscribers, so if you guys have not become a Charoletteer yet, join the family, subscribe, and so you can be a part of the loop and everything that's going on around me. Also, if you guys want to support me in any other ways, I do have social media links down below. I also have a GoFundMe if you guys want to support the transition surgery coming up soon. Don't have to if you don't want to. Otherwise, I do have books in the description I'm selling on Amazon. I do have 2 books published, Apple Mia and Mystica. If you guys want to check those out, let me know. They should be linked down below as well. Also, I just have a bunch of stuff. I also have a link to Sohini down below for toys if you want to feel some more spicy. If you want to spice things up, 10% off using my discount code or 20% off using my referral link. Whichever comes first, if you guys want to support me that way, down in the description below. So in this video, I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible when it comes to my intro. I want to talk to you guys about something that I think a lot of trans people are not talking about, and I think it's very much important, especially from someone like me, to come out and say this. I wish I transitioned when I was a kid. And this is a very unpopular take, I'm pretty sure it is, but hear me out. For those of you guys who have been following my transition for the longest time, since the beginning, I came out when I was 21 years old, and I started my transition hormonally when I was 22. So well into my adulthood was I beginning my transition. I'm really glad I didn't have to start my transition when I was 50 or 60 or while I had a marriage or anything like that. And I think that's what my biggest goal when I transitioned was to transition before I started a family, before I had kids, because I wanted to make sure that once I had a family, they could see me for who I am rather than see me change into something that I feel I am. Makes any sense at all? I don't know. I don't need people sitting there telling my family that I deserted them, like they do to a lot of trans people, or that I gave up my family for my own devious plans to be transgender. Didn't need that. Don't need that at all. So I transitioned at an early age when I was single and when I could deal with my own stuff, and I didn't have to worry about anybody else's opinions but myself. Before we continue, I'm in a different spot, though I am still in the same room. I'm filming when it's the daytime. That's a first. Therefore, I'm going to use nature's light as a lighting because I think it's nice. I think nature's light's the best lighting you can actually have. So why not take advantage of it while I have the chance? So why do I regret transitioning as an adult, and why did I want to transition as a child? Now, unfortunately, when I was a child, I didn't know what transgender was. All I know was gay and straight. I didn't even know what bisexual was. I felt like that was just gay and straight, and that's literally what it was. You either liked guys and you're a guy, or you liked girls and you're a guy. Or, vice versa. Girls, 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 guys. I didn't see bisexual, I didn't see trans, I didn't see any of that stuff. So, it's very much well-rounded. I lived as a quote-unquote straight guy growing up, and I did some questionable things that point towards my transgenderness. But now, if I would have just known then what I know now, would my life be completely different? Now, I'm going to tell you guys why I wish I transitioned at a younger age. Let's be honest here. If I transitioned when I was a child, and I'm not saying 5 years old, I'm not saying 10, if I started taking hormone blockers and stuff like that, I wouldn't have had to go through a lot of the hormonal changes that people go through whenever they're going through puberty. And let's be honest with you guys, a lot of insecurities for trans people come from puberty. It's just the reality at the end of the day. And I think that's where the fight between what is right and what is wrong with the trans person to be approved. Look at my cat. There's a yin-yang situation in this. We're not fully developed, and we don't know what we want. And these hormones that we take are life-altering, and it stunts our growth. And, it depends on really how you see it. You know what I mean? Like, if I would have noticed I was transgender at the time, you can make the same excuse to me. But Look at it as it is now. I'm 29 years old and I'm still trans. I'm still have gender dysphoria. I still have to live with this change, which in my eyes is better for me than I was back then. I'm definitely a lot more happy than I was back then. So, you know, it all worked out. In today's world, there might be some people that are experiencing, you know, wanting to be trans because it's a trend to some people. And that's where it's wrong. And that's where being a kid and transitioning becomes a problem. I don't condone transitioning just because one day you decided that was a good idea, but I do condone following your heart if you do have a lot of experience personally to believing and understanding who you are. Because let's be honest with you. Let's be honest. Gender identity is something that comes around when you're very young, and people don't understand what I mean by that. When you're a kid, you're already sorted out with who's the boys and who's the girls, and what you should be and who you should be around. And that's where a lot of the times it comes around to the problems. And I didn't have that high of gender dysphoria growing up. I didn't sit there and rebel against being a boy. I just wasn't exactly doing things that made sense to being what a boy was. And to be honest with you guys, I lived a lot of my childhood kind of like just going with the flow of what I was told to do. I didn't know my parents, and I spent my entire life just like not understanding my own self. And then now that I'm an adult, I was able to make the decision. I wish I transitioned at an early age, at a kid's age, because I could have not had big muscles. Not that I had big muscles. I could have developed like a female a lot more. I would have smaller hands. I would have smaller feet. I would have not a low voice. I would definitely not have the brow bones that I have. And I would have been like 5'3", to be honest with you, 5'2", because that's how my sisters are. And those are all insecurities that I have to carry with, that I have to live for the rest of my life with. There's no surgery to make your hands smaller. There's no surgery to make your feet smaller or make you shorter. There's no surgery for those. I don't know. There's pros and there's cons of transitioning as a youngster. I truly believe that it's not best to put someone on full-blown hormones right away, but to ease into their transition. Because when someone is consistent for like 2 or 3 years, in my eyes, I feel like it's legit. I don't think anybody in their right minds, and I know there's some people in the right mindset that they'll transition for 10 years and then they'll be like, oh, it's not for me. I don't know how to explain their situations. I don't know how to say, hey, how did you live for 10 years like that? And completely do like a 180 and be like, oh, I don't see myself as trans. Screw the transgender community. Like, I don't know how you could do that for 10 years. Bottom line, gender dysphoria should never, ever, ever be what a doctor says because you feel like you should play with Barbies instead of action figures, or because you decide to play with action figures instead of Barbies. There's no reason why a doctor should say, I suggest hormone replacement therapy. I suggest transitioning because you feel uncomfortable. I think in a way there should be enough work around the matter to understand beyond just playing with toys, or beyond just feeling like you're not part of the boys, you're not part of the girls. It goes beyond that. It goes beyond that to identity, because believe it or not, maybe we might not have adult identities, but we do have identities and self-understanding of where we belong in these groups of people that we're around growing up in high school and middle school and college and kindergarten and, you know, elementary school and grade school, stuff like that. It makes a lot of sense. And I know it sounds like I'm saying this just because of physical changes and that I would be a lot more passable, but believe it or not, a lot of transgender stuff that has to do with transgender has to do with physical appearances, has to do with mental stability. Obviously, if I look like a female 100%, it wouldn't change that I'm still trans, and it wouldn't make it any different for me to feel like I would have that little bit inside of me that wish that I was just a natural born woman, because that's what it comes down to, right? That's what gender dysphoria is. The feeling of not feeling whole about your identity towards your gender dysphoria. I don't think there's really a trans person out there that pulls completely 100% like the way there should be. That's just a battle we have to face on our own. But, you know, to a lot of trans people, puberty is the gateway to hell, kind of like the gateway to like the changes that are going to ruin everything for them. And that's why some people feel the need that they should transition at a young age. They don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with the puberty that can basically make changes, permanent changes to your body against their own will. I don't know. Take it that way as you want. But as an adult and seeing all my insecurities now, I kind of look at it as like, that's kind of true for me. I wish that I can go back in time and come out when I was in high school. No matter what kind of bullying that I would have went through, I can care less. I probably would have looked a lot better than I am now. That doesn't necessarily mean that if you go through puberty, you're going to look ugly and you're going to look like a trans person. That you cannot. I mean, there's plenty of people that probably went through puberty that still look completely passable. I mean, look at all some of the people that are, celebrities that came out as an adults. They are still passable. They still have a lot of female features, even though they transition after puberty. There are some people that are very fortunate. Unfortunately, as sad as it might seem, a lot of the people in the community that have to go through these physical changes end up having bigger upper bodies, have way more masculine traits, and they have to deal with all that because they went through puberty. And let's face it, everybody looks at the trans community as a bunch of male bodybuilders wearing wigs, and that's the saddest part about all of it, is that how can we escape that kind of look if we can't even make the changes whenever we're about to enter that very scary part of our lives that kind of spell out what we will have to deal with for the rest of our lives. I think that's the hardest part. Take it for a trans woman's perspective, someone that had to go through puberty at one point. It was a hard time in my life, and it wasn't about my identity. It was more so about the change I had physically to my body. I wish I could go back in time, but it is what it is. So I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on this matter, this subject, because it's very much important, especially to apparently everybody nowadays. I don't know why the world thinks that every kid is being pressured to transition. It's the most craziest situation where people say, #protect the kids, like as if like every child is being forced to transition. It's like a very small percentage. And I'm not saying that it's not worthy of being talked about, because I'm sure there's really bad cases, but it's not the trans people that you guys should be mad at. It should be these people that are actually pushing transition in a very bad manner towards the trans people. And maybe there are some trans people that have ill will, but that's like I said in my last video. Everybody has that bad egg or that bad sour apple that we just don't vibe with. But the whole community as a whole is about discovering your inner self and your true self, and whether you feel the way you feel. And let me tell you guys something, just so we can kind of like brush off the whole Christian aspect to this. You're not telling God you hate your body and how could you do this to me. There might be some people that feel that way, but in my eyes, it's the fact that God, you gave me this Play-Doh, or you gave me this dough, and I can finally form it to my liking. I'm still in your body. I'm blessed to be in this world, in this body. Therefore, I don't rebel up against what you gave me, because you didn't pronounce me a male or female at birth. It's just what it is what it is. God made me in his image as a human being, and I am a human being still. I didn't transition to an alien. I just transitioned from one gender to another. That has nothing to do with this video. I just wanted to go off on a little rant. But anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Please, I just want to know. Let's get this video to 100 likes. I really do hope you guys understand what I'm talking about in this video, and don't take it the wrong way and make me and to like, don't paint it the wrong way. Just understand the innocence of the video, to know that there's nothing ill will about it. Okay, that's just how it is. If you go into a video being upset, you're never gonna be happy coming out. That's the way it is. Anyways, guys, I love you guys lots of Tater Tots. I'm Mama Charlotte. You guys are my Charoletteers, and I'll see you guys in the very next video. Love you guys lots of Tater Tots. Bye.